Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and would you believe, although you probably can't believe, that Amazon is trying to spin Lord of the Rings of Power, as a success. Except for, we all know it was not a success. Was it an abject failure? No, probably not. But when you spend $750 million on a series and on the rights to a series, and it comes out not even being in the top 15 TV shows of all of the year that it came out, 2022 in this case, no, it was a failure. Let's take a look at this article right here. Amazon tries to spin The Lord of the Rings of Power's global success. Stranger Things and Ozark's domestic numbers demolish the narrative. So yeah, let's go through here because obviously Lord of the Rings of Power was not a success. If you liked it, that's fine. If you hated it, honestly, you're probably the smarter of the two types of individuals. But if you liked it, that's fine. But don't go around claiming it was a success because it really wasn't. And if you want to claim it was good, well, sure, I'll be willing to hear out your argument. But you're going to have to make a really, really good argument. Amazon recently released the fourth quarter results for 2022 and used the opportunity in an attempt to tout the success of Lord of the Rings of Power. As part of a release from Amazon, the company stated Amazon attracted more than 100 million viewers worldwide the first season of Lord of the Rings of Power, making it the most watched Amazon original series in every region of the world, with more than 24 billion minutes streamed, and driving more Prime signups worldwide during its launch window than any previous Prime Video content. Now, you can say that all you want, Amazon. You can say that. But I don't trust big corporations. It's not just you, Amazon. It's not just you. I don't trust any big corporation. I'm going to need to see some receipts if you're going to say it drove all of that great watch time and all them watch views and hours and Prime subscriptions. Show me the data and you know, make sure it's not doctored. You know, make sure that Fauci didn't get in there taking the time off of making stuff up about COVID to make some stuff up about your numbers. The company then touted the show's commitment to identity politics. Amazon Studios also announced that all female slate of directors, Charlotte Bradstrom, Sana Hamri, and Louise Hooper, for Season 2 of The Lord of the Rings of Power, which is currently in production in the UK. Amazon, we gotta talk. You and me, we gotta have words. Just a little quick chit-chat, a fireside chat, as Wizards of the Coast would like to say. I got no issue with you doing all female directors. That's nice. That's awesome. Give those women something to do. But is that going to make the show good? Is that going to give us a good product? Is just saying, hey, you got a vag, now make this Lord of the Rings show. Is that going to make the product good? If it is not, if it objectively will not make the project good and you're just doing it for like diversity and quota purposes, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because anyone can make a good show if they got the talent, if they've got the will to work for it. The fact that articles and yourselves are touting all-female directing squad, that shouldn't be part of the conversation. The conversation should be, we have talented directors that are here to project J.R.R. Tolkien's vision to a legion of Tolkien fans. Now, is that what you're doing? No, not at all. Anyone that saw the first season knows that. But that's at least how it should be marketed. You shouldn't worry or care about the gender of the individuals making the show. You should just care if you got people paying to watch the show. And most folks don't care if it was a guy or a girl director, especially when it comes to TV, when people don't even pay attention to directors 9 times out of 10. They just care that the show is good. Interestingly, if this 24 billion minute streamed number is true, it means the series is seeing much more watch time outside the United States than in it. Nielsen recently released their number for the top 15 streaming programs of 2022 in the United States, and The Rings of Power didn't even make the list. Let's see what did make the list, though. Stranger Things at number 1. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I can appreciate that. Ozark, fantastic show, or at least the first couple seasons are. Haven't seen anything past that, but good job, Ozark. Number 2 is not shabby. Wednesday at number 3. Hey, you can go get him, Jenna. Tim Burton. Maybe Tim is back into something, considering his awful run the last few years. Excellent job. Number 3 ain't bad. Cobra Kai, Bridgerton, Virgin River, Dahmer, Love is Blind, Inventing Anna, The Crown, The Boys, The Great British Baking Show, The Umbrella Academy, The Last Kingdom. There we go. The Rings of Power. First of all, it took you 11 tries to even get in the top 15, and your only entry is The Boys until you get to, The Rings of Power at number 15. I will give you credit, though, Amazon. You at least did better than Disney. I know that's not saying much, but if I had to pick between the lesser of two evils, I will say that you are less evil than Disney, so good job completely knocking them out the top 15. I will give you credit there. Now, it is important to note, this is just originals. So this is not shows that, when you hop on Netflix and want to rewatch The Office or Seinfeld or something, this doesn't count that. This is just originals. So if we took all the originals of 2022, top 15, Rings of Power just coming in at 15. And for all of you out there who are about to talk about how, well, yeah, House of the Dragon didn't make it on there, I don't think House of the Dragon counts because House of the Dragon was not streaming exclusive. It was actually also available to watch, like, for all the old people to still have regular HBO cable. House of the Dragon was premiering on there as well. So this is just streaming. The series did eke into the 15th place on Nielsen's top 15 original streaming programs for 2022. Interestingly, it was beat by The Boys, another Prime Video offering. Not only did The Boys beat The Rings of Power, but it beat over 1 billion minutes watched. 2022 top 15 streaming programs overall. Now here's when we get into the good stuff. Here's where we realize when streaming and watching reruns, the people are going back and watching shows that are much older than the modern crap we get, when TV was a much higher quality product, when we cared about the shows, and when the shows cared about us. We still have Stranger Things at number 1, then we got NCIS, CoComelon, Ozark, and Encanto. Okay, yeah, that's actually kind of surprising, seeing Encanto that high, but anyway. Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, Bluey, Gilmore Girls, Seinfeld, Supernatural, Wednesday still cracking it in there. Good job, Wednesday, staying in the top 15. Heartland, Cobra Kai, and The Simpsons. Nope, not a single ring of power to be found. And no rings, no power, just abject failure and loneliness. And I couldn't care less. I will say, though, it is interesting if you take a look at this right here. No Amazon. Now, I will say, Amazon isn't exactly known for its rerun series. I mean, when I pop on TV shows on Prime, even I'm going and looking at just, old anime that just got on there that you really can't find on Netflix or anything to that effect. And I don't know how many people are as weebish as I to go through and look at some obscure anime from 1984 for a rewatch. So, fair enough. But it is just interesting to show that top 15 overall, Amazon doesn't even crack the list. However, the 24 billion minutes watched mark is still paltry compared to domestic watch time for a number of programs featured on Netflix. As the Nielsen chart for top 15 streaming programs overall showcases, Stranger Things racked up 52 billion minutes watched in the United States alone. That's more than double all the Rings of Power's watch time. Ozark also trounced Prime Video's global numbers by posting 31.3 billion minutes viewed just in the United States alone. In fact, The Rings of Power was also beat out by reruns of NCI, Grey's Anatomy, and Criminal Minds, all which had more than 24.9 billion minutes viewed each. Amazon, we gotta go back to that chat. You spend $750 million, $250 on the rights, and then another $500 mil to make the show. And you can't even beat NCIS reruns, the type of show where your grandma and your grandpappy fall asleep with a little TV dinner Salisbury steak dripping down their little chin there, filling in all the cracks and crevices and divots of their wrinkles. You can't beat that show. The old people show that just sits on Netflix until the "Are you still watching" thing appears. What are you doing? This should really teach you something about your identity politics and pandering when it comes to making a good quality show. You got Tolkien, for God's sakes, and you couldn't beat Mark Harmon. Wow. Even Disney Plus's Encanto film had more watch time than the entire 8-episode first season of The Rings of Power. As for Amazon's claim that the show drove the most Prime signups during its launch window, this appears to ignore the fact that the company was literally offering to give individuals in Brazil a food delivery service coupon for 30 reals at iFood if they signed up for Prime Video and watched the first episode of the show. YouTuber George the Giant Slayer explained, "What it basically says, if you've never had a subscription to Amazon Prime, you go subscribe, and I'm not telling you, I'm just saying what they're saying, and then if you've never watched The Rings of Power, and it's your very first watch, you're going to watch it, and they're going to give you a serial number, and that's going to give you a coupon for 30 reals, which you can exchange for food from an app." That's some marketing, I guess. I mean, I don't know how effective it was. I'm not Brazilian. I don't know if you could tell from my beautiful bronze Adonis skin. It's quite possible that the show didn't actually drive the signups, but the bribe of the significant food coupon drove more signups than the actual show, and Amazon's attempting to spin the show as the success when it's actually the food coupon. People would rather get themselves a couple McDoubles than watch The Rings of Power, and frankly, I can't blame them. In fact, before the series released, a major report from Business Insider indicated that Amazon would resort to such tactics, with the report stating, "Word from those who've seen episodes is positive, and several industry insiders predicted to Insider that Amazon will find a way, regardless of actual viewership, to sound the trumpets of victory." I mean, Would you expect anything less from a multi-billion-dollar corporation who's terrified of abject failure? An anonymous insider described as a former senior Amazon Studios executive in the report also stated, the reason why it's going to succeed is because the executives at Amazon need it to succeed. If it doesn't succeed, there's going to be a big question from Amazon's chief executive officer, Andy Jassy, on the board. The alleged executive added, if we can't take this piece of IP and make it successful, why is Amazon Studios even here? It has to succeed. There's no option. It could have succeeded though, guys. It truly could have succeeded. You want to know why it didn't succeed? For those of you in the back, identity politics. You were too busy talking about the first black elf and the first black dwarf and woman Galadriel fighting warrior to actually give us a quality product. Some folks, most folks, all folks, Tolkien fans just want a good show, but you couldn't do that. You'd rather inject your politics and ideologies directly into our veins like heroin addicts. It truly is despicable. Another insider indicated that the show has to outperform other Amazon Studios and Prime Video offerings, telling the outlet, if it's not the highest performing thing Amazon has ever done, it's a failure. Well, then right there, it's a failure. I mean, The Boys beat it. The Boys beat it. We saw the numbers, so it must be a failure. Or is it just that, god damn, is Karl Urban sexy and there is no beating Karl Urban? The insider added the caveat, but the outside world may not ever know. Well, yeah, they're never going to come clean and be honest about it. We will never know. The little pondering look here that not Hugo Weaving has, yeah, that's what's going on in my mind's eye right now. Peering off into the distance, wondering if the multi-billion corporation will ever truly be honest. The same insider noted that people's jobs could be on the line if the series does not perform well, explaining to Business Insider, I think Amazon Studios chief, Jennifer Selke's position there is very, very secure, but all the senior leaders are probably not sleeping well right now. It's a high-stakes moment for them, the insider added. It'll be interesting to see if there will be any shakeups at Amazon, despite the company attempting to portray these paltry numbers in comparison to its competitors as success. Now, what do you make of Amazon trying to spin The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power's anemic viewership as a success? Well, I'll tell you what I think of it. I think it's hilarious, and I think we all saw this coming. I think the writing was on the wall from the get-go when Tolkien fans and fans of high fantasy and Lord of the Rings in general had issues with the way the show was being marketed, with the way the show was being produced, with the way that people were talking about it in interviews. Yeah, the fan base wasn't happy. And when your fan base isn't happy, your core fan base isn't happy, they're going to speak out. They're going to speak out on Twitter. They're going to speak out on Facebook. They're going to speak out in real life when they're just talking to their buddies, on the couch when watching, Wednesday or something. So what did you expect? Obviously, Amazon's going to run damage control. And very obviously, we're never going to know the truth of the numbers, what actually happened here. But we're getting to season 2. I'm wondering when Amazon is going to decide to pull the plug. Like, are they going to stick to their 5-season plan just to stick it to individuals because they're afraid of this being considered a failure? Or after 2 seasons of abysmal viewership, are they going to throw in the towel? I mean, who's to really say? All I know is that it's going to be absolutely hilarious, and I cannot wait to find out. But that's all I've got for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or you can let me know on Twitter, where you can follow me at BoltTheWord. And if you enjoy this content, I post stuff just like it 3 times a day, so check back here for all the nerdiest news. It's all here in the Nerdosphere, and please subscribe, because this has been Words of Paradise.